Hi guys, for today's teardown, what do we have here? Will you recognize? Yes, it is a trackball controller from an Airliner cockpit. It is the main user interface between the pilot or co-pilot and the computer of the aircraft, allowing easy access to everything they need. So what do we have? We have this grey Boeing color front piece, palm rest here, the trackball obviously, one left click, one right click button. We have selector switch here with 2 levels, so actually 2 selector switches are thumb wheel, because in fact you can turn them as much as you want, they will not stop. So interesting. We have here what seems to be a push button of some sort. We have a little 4-direction joystick. And at the bottom we have one more switch which is not labeled at all. Not sure what it does or what it is for. Big rocker switch here. Maybe it is the main on-off button for the aircraft. No, just joking. So this thing is made by Honeywell in final test is from 17th of January 2000. A few modifications. Here is the only connector to it. Since we have golden pins and glass insulator on this connector, not something you see every day on airliners. Okay, so I did already remove some screw in order to try to save time on the teardown. So, if I remember correctly, the front piece is quite easy to undo. So we mainly have a card cage in this with a few circuit boards. Big chips, if I remember. And one of the problem is the screw, or are the screws, which are not very easy to deal with. Let me try to find another better screwdriver. Maybe this one. In fact, I did already have to scrap a few of the screws of this thing because they are not good. And they are of course imperial screws and not easy to find. So here we have a few headers to disconnect. One here, and one here. So it is interesting to note they have nothing to keep them, to secure them in place. Really. And also the connectors in here are not really labeled, so it does not help for repairs of this thing. So I will try to dig in this as much as I can. You have a first view here of the inside, and look at this. There is a surprise in here, but we will check it later in fact. Let me first undo the aluminium piece here. Is there a way? No, it seems to be perfectly symmetrical. So I will undo 4 screws here, and here we have what seems to be I was going they are Japanese screws, but no, they are Imperial also. So let me undo this. I guess the front piece will come off. And it looks like, so here we have a very nice aluminium machined piece, as you can see. Made from a block of aluminium probably. And guess what? They are annoying because I need to undo this let me see if I can find quickly the necessary tools to do this. I guess we will have Imperial heads also in here. So I will zoom a little bit for you. I took a random key in my stock. It is good for this one. Almost. But not for this one. So it must be the wrong size, and I need to grab the very expensive set of Imperial Allen keys. We need to get the little bit smaller. Still not for this one. So this one is okay, but this one will still not cooperate. So smaller again. And of course no. Should be way too easy. It must be this one. I do not understand why it looks like it is exactly the size between my two keys. So let me figure it out and we'll be right back. Okay, finally I found the correct tool, and now I can remove a button, solid block of aluminium, this one, and I can also undo this one, and hopefully there is of course another hidden screw, which is of course another size. Maybe it will go with this one. Okay, so we are clear, and we can separate the two parts. So you can see in this part we have a multi-way selector made by Grey Hill, channel A, channel B, so very expensive component here probably. And here you have a better look at the shining on this piece. Very impressive quality. But it is not the most interesting for this. The most interesting is in here probably. In fact, I was wondering if I can undo the main ball sensor, but it looks like I will be annoyed with the screws, because the screws are here, and I think there is one at the back, but there is no hole, or in fact we add holes. Look here, will you see it? This white patch here at the back, just here. In fact, they did patch the holes used for accessing the screws, and there is probably another one here somewhere. So you cannot, since it is finished, you cannot undo it anymore. So here we just have a little metal cup switches, the little joystick here. And about the big rocker switch here, look at this, it is actually not connected. So they use a pretty expensive piece here probably, and it is not even connected. Interesting. Here you have contacts for the two click buttons. And it is all in fat because it does not look like we can undo the ball easily. There is some crack here in the seal all around. I can see on the PCB here it is written lead. So yes, it is the regular encoder system with discs with holes, as you find in optical all the ball mouses, computer mouse. And it is made by Penny and Giles Computer Products here in England. Okay, so this piece seems to be some kind of unidentified material, I would say. There is no plastics marks or anything. Does not seem to be fiberglass. It almost looks like 3D printed, in fact, with layers, but it is way before the start of 3D printing, so not sure. And this is a box I did make because when I received the item, some pieces were missing here, or something is broken, or something like this. Okay, you can see the wire harness. Here at this side they did bother gluing the connector at least. It will not come off easily. So it is all for this side of the device. Now we will go and check the electronics. Okay, about the electronics, we have 3 circuit boards that plug in a motherboard attached to this back piece here. And I did totally forget to remove the extra screws here on the side. So excuse me for this. So I remember that it is a pain to undo because in fact the cards will stay stuck in the frame, and in order to do it cleanly, maybe I first need to pull the cards themselves. So there is a piece here just for securing them in place, which is good. If I can remove it, I may be able to pull the cards. Here we are. So at least 2 of them. Maybe, yes. First one. So the 3 plugs are different, so you cannot line them up. Oh, it is nice, so we'll see it later. Second one. Oh, this one is really hard and will not come at all. So I will try to remove this piece here. Oops. Okay, fairly enough, it is disconnect. And now I can pull the cards. It is because of this side rails, in fact, you see. So what do we have? First, the backplane. We have a lot of filtering parts it deserves zooming. This, I do not know what they are. This also. We have some information about the power bus, maybe. 5 volt analog, minus 5 volt, minus 15, plus 5. And plus 3.3. Okay. So this mysterious pieces here also caps, filters, and probably these blue things here must be precision resistors, I guess. So it is just screwed on this panel here. I guess we have nothing else inside. No, it seems pretty empty inside. Maybe I can just try to undo 2 screws and lift it a little bit and check if there is anything of interest before undoing everything. And now I can see there is nothing. It is just the back side of this PCB with nothing. In fact, to remove it, you should need to remove the 4 screws for the connector here, as it is soldered in place here, directly onto the PCB. So, this one will go back in place. So the first PCB we have here, probably power supply, I guess. And we have some mysterious pieces. It is not for the LM317. Here we have Dale 0.1 ohm. How far can I zoom with keeping in focus? Like so. So Dale 0.1 ohm resistor at 1%. So probably current sensing here. We have a lot of these things which seems to be made of glass, probably diodes, but quite weird form factor I did never see before. You can see that it has square terminals on glass body with metal going inside. And we have so regular flavor of offsets, but we have this thing also, which seem to be very big ceramic capacitors, and even a stack of 2 capacitors, as you can see. Quite interesting. More precision Dell resistors here. Very fancy connector with gold pins, as in here on the motherboard. Backside, quite clean, good conformal coating also on this thing. So this was the first board. Here we have a secondary board where all the buttons did connect. In fact, all the user interface did connect here. So not sure that it is serial encoders or something like so. We have Max 131 chip. We have ACT14 chips. LT1114S, and this one is completely not possible to read. Apart from this, tantalum caps, pretty generic tantalum caps, generic headers here, nothing fancy. Here is the back, and here also we have written in a reverse way. You can see it is written plus 15 volt analog. Plus 15 volt in the internal layer, in fact, of the PCB. You cannot see Here you can see layer. Here you can see layer, but it is not the same spot there. And we have a serial number on this PCB, serial number 13. I am checking if we have a serial number on the other ones. Not on this one. Or in fact it is hidden behind this sticker maybe. But this is interesting. And last, first not least, what seems to be the main processing board communicating with the outside world of the box. We have a big Z-Links chip, BGA chip. So I will let you research if you want to know what it is exactly. We have a nice analog device here, some internal connector which was not used, more Maxim stuff, little SMD transistors, and a very nice oscillator here at 8 MHz, made by Mtron, the code of 1998, and more of the same stuff. Same caps, same conformal coating, and more AD. Another device 827GR. A lot of them. Backside we have a back of a BGA chip with, it is quite weird because we have golden dots between vias on the PCB. A few decoupling capacitors, of course. Not sure if it is a firmware or software version. And here we have some ball wires, but very nicely stuck in the conformal coating, so they cannot go anywhere. Pretty thick PCB too, but this one is even thickest. I just happen to have a ruler here. 2 millimeters, this one. So this one is 1.5 or something like so. Okay, so I will maybe unzoom a little bit. So it will be all for this. Now I will try to put it back together. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.